Hey, good morning, guys. I want to talk to you a little bit today about something that I've seen come up in the shop more than once, and it's something that's simple that we can take care of right away as technicians when we get that job that says diag. So we get a job, and let's just say it's a no-run situation, which usually is what it is. They'll say no start diag, or left blinker doesn't work, diag, you know. Something has failed, and then they want you to tell you what's wrong with it. They don't want you to just go ahead and fix it. So this is different than a normal service job. So service jobs come in, and a service job is oil change or a stage one or something that we already know the parameters of what the job's going to take. It's like a haircut. You go in, they cut your hair, you pay the money, you leave. There's not like, oh, we're cutting your hair, we noticed that you don't have any hair on this side, we're going to have to implant some hair for you. It's in and out is the point. So it's a diag situation. If it is a diag situation, if it pertains, and I want to be clear on this, if it pertains to a running issue, okay? If it pertains to doesn't start, hard start, won't start when it's cold, starts hard when it's hot, whatever it might be, okay? If it's a starting or running issue with the engine, there's three things that we need to verify before we do anything else. Because this is where we get ourselves in trouble. Sometimes, and this is an exact scenario, customer will come in, let's just say the machine's been sitting, okay? Machine's been in Uncle Fred's barn for 3 years, they just pulled it out, took the cover off, got the dust off it, but it won't start, the battery's dead, and they assume, you know, it's a Vinson 500. They say, oh yeah, it's been sitting, and we leave it at the cabin, and it's probably got bad gas in it. So we, the customer comes in, it probably needs a carb rebuild. They're trying to be proactive. I already got you a carb rebuild kit. They hand it to the service writer. Service writer says, wow, cool. Needs carb rebuild. This is what he's going to write down because the service writer doesn't know how to filter this. He's going to say, needs carb, machine's been sitting. Hopefully he'll write this. Machine's been sitting. Customer provided carb clean kit, you know, carb rebuild kit, okay? Rebuild carb, 2 hours, whatever it is, okay? Then he gets it in, okay? Now, we bring it back, the technician takes a look at the piece of paper and say, okay, so okay, I've got a carb kit here and it says it needs carb kit, okay, it's been sitting. Okay, that's all, there's nothing wrong with any of that. But as a technician, I can tell you that you will be doing yourself and the shop and everyone a favor if you will do these three things before you start on the carb rebuild. And this is the point of the film here. If you'll do these three things, and I wanted a blue marker. It's right here. So I think you can see it better. I'm going to draw a triangle here. Okay? There's three things you should check before you do anything on the unit. First is make sure it's mechanically sound. Mechanical. Okay? The next thing you're going to do before you rebuild the carburetor is verify that it has spark. Verify the ignition works. Okay? It's a electric start only. There's no kick start on it. There's no pull start on it. The battery's dead. Then grab a jumper battery. Put it on there. Find out. Don't just assume that everything works on this machine. So the next step is electrical. Okay? And the last step, after you verify the engine is mechanically sound via a compression test and a leak down test, you verify that the engine's even worth a darn before you start, you know, putting a whole bunch of work into it. Then the last thing is fuel. If you will stick with that in your diagnosis of a non-running situation, you'll put yourself miles ahead down the road. Now we've had situations that just recently, we've got an old Honda Nighthawk in here. We rebuilt the carburetors on it. We knew the carburetors were bad. We knew that the machine had been sitting. We knew it, and the customer asked for fork seals and asked for new tires and asked for new brake pads and all these things. It's been sitting. He wants to get it fresh and ready to run. And so the mistake that we made with this as a technician is we assume that all the other systems are still in working order. So we get the carbs done, we get the tires done, we get the fork seals done, we put brake pads on it, we put some gas in the tank, and then it won't start. And so now we've spent $1,500 And the customer's going, where's my bike? I want my bike back. And we're telling them, oh yeah, it's done, because we fed it with the fuel bottle. We fed it with the remote bottle. And the remote bottle flows fuel and the carbs fill up and the engine runs and everything's functioning. Great, that's awesome. But then we take a second look at the gas tank and we say, oh yeah, I see a little bit of rust in there. Actually, I see a lot of rust in there. Probably should have noticed that from the beginning. Then we remove the petcock to find out why there's no fuel flowing. We filled the tank up. Why is it not flowing? Well, it's a vacuum actuated petcock, and we open it up and it's literally full of rust. And it's corroded and ruined, and now this is an old machine. The petcock's hard to find. It's difficult to rebuild. There's little drill rivets you have to, it's a whole menagerie to rebuild this thing. And you can't get it from Honda, so then we find a used part. And the guy's just upset because he wants the stupid thing back, and we've already made the phone call and said, oh yeah, it runs great. It's all set. We could have avoided that completely if we'd have verified mechanical, which we did, electrical, which we did. I don't know that we did it, but we know that the engine runs, so mechanically it's probably okay. It's mechanically sound, it starts right up. That probably means the electrical's working as well. The ignition is in order, or else it wouldn't start. So those two are checked. We didn't check them when we should have, because had we gotten done with this and the and had no spark, we'd be in a bad situation again. Fuel, we did not check the fuel system. We did not verify that the fuel system was even sound or that it was even operable. Okay, so now, like I said, we've done all this work and now we can't move forward. Now the customer gets hit with another bill. You know, oh, by the way, it's going to be a cream kit and we're going to have to clean the tank and we're going to have to get a new petcock, and it's this whole, it's going to be in there a couple weeks. Sorry about that, you know. Guys, we cannot let that kind of stuff happen. Please follow these 3 steps. And I'm talking to the new technicians, I'm talking to the old technicians, I'm talking to Kurt, I'm talking to Kelly, I'm talking to Cody, I'm talking to Kevin, I'm talking to all you guys, you know, Lance, whoever. We've all been doing it a long time. It doesn't hurt to hear it again, okay? I want you to know that I'm not just hounding on guys that have only been doing it for a short time. All of you guys know this. If you feel that I am incorrect, or that there's a better way to diagnose, or that you should follow different steps, I would love to hear that. But this has been working for me for a long time. And it covers your backside, all right? So guys, let's make sure that we're doing those diagnoses correctly. Let's make sure we're covering our bases before we end up with situations with forks and brakes and tires and an ignition that doesn't work. And then we have to make that second phone call, and that's an ugly phone call, especially if the customer's already, you know, uncomfortable with the price or heated up because they've been waiting for a long time, or whatever the case may be. Guys, let's do the diagnosis. All right, that's my 2 bits for the day, and I really appreciate you guys. One thing I really appreciate is if you guys give me the feedback on the videos. I expect you to respond to the texts and the emails and the when I put something in Teams. That's just expected. So if you don't, then I'm going to suspect that you either haven't watched it or you don't care, and then that reflects poorly on you. I want to hear what you have to say. This is meant to be an interaction. This is meant to be a pitch and catch, all right? So anyways, with that said, you guys have a great day. Think young. We'll see you soon.